You're sitting in class and hear a quiet bang in the distance. A few seconds pass and your teacher's school phone rings. As she answers the phone, you can see that her face is dropping and forming more into a face of distress. She quickly and quietly gets up and locks the door, turns the lights off, and motions for you and your classmates to push your chairs and desks over towards the door. You and everyone else know exactly what's going on at this point, but the teacher took up phones at the beginning of the class. What will you do? There have been a few instances where I was at school and there was some kind of lockdown, and I had no way of contacting any of my family. I can promise you that is a different kind of fear. Good evening. Today I will be discussing why students should have access to their phones at all times during school, in exception of state standardized tests and other circumstances. I support this statement because students should have a discreet way to contact family or emergency services in case of an emergency in school. They can also be informed of threats or anything that may be coming to the school that they're not informed of. And they can also use their phones for educational help, like if a teacher steps out or anything and they need help with something, they can just Google it. My first of 3 points is that students will have a way to discreetly contact someone in case of an emergency in school. So far, in 2022, there have been 27 incidents of a gun on school grounds, resulting in 4 deaths and 18 injuries. The second point I'm bringing forward is that parents need a way to contact students in case there's an emergency outside of school. For example, if there's an external threat to the school, students are able to be informed before it actually happens. Also, if there's a death in the family or anything, they can be discreetly informed about that and not have to have a whole thing, because that's really embarrassing. Been there, done that. Third and final point is that phones should be allowed in school for academic support. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and say students should be allowed to have their phones out and on during finals or anything like that. I'm just saying that if there was an instance where a teacher couldn't help a student, they can use an education-based app or a certain website to help them. Students can use their phones for apps like Google Classroom or Google Calendar as well. Okay. So phones should always be accessible in case of an emergency, and they should also be accessed when needed for educational support. The school should never be able to determine whether or not a student can have their phone on their person. That should be completely up to the student and the student's guardian. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening so attentively. I really appreciate it.